Genshin Impact, or as it's also known in more refined circles,
Genshin Impact.
Wait, hold on. You've already used this joke for this video. You can't do it again. My apologies. I was under the impression that Genshin fans liked having the same exact content repackaged and fed to them time and time again with no expectation of change. Okay, so it's no secret that Genshin's reputation has taken a slight decline over the years. Even with Natlan releasing, the player base has always been restless, asking for more. There's just something that's making Genshin not as popular as before, but no one seems to have pinpointed it yet. Well, have no fear. After over 4 years of Genshin experience, I think I finally cracked the code on what Genshin desperately needs to retain their players. So I'm here to present a guy with no experience in video game design's guide to fixing the design of a video game. Okay, so you ask yourself, what's the one thing players have been asking for since the early days of Genshin? What's that? Overcapped resin reserves? The ability to farm any resource on any day of the week? Endgame content? Psh, small potatoes, all of it. I'm here to address the real hard-hitting issues of Genshin, starting off with our first major problem: the ability to switch travelers. Please, Hoyoverse, I hate playing as Lumine. She's so lame. Just let me switch to Aether, please. How am I meant to self-insert onto a female character? I need to compensate for my lack of meaningful real-life relationships by acquiring as many in-game fictional waifus as possible. I'm sure you could explain the change in-game through some alternate universe time travel quantum entanglement type mumbo jumbo. Just give us the option, please. Here's another issue. No incentive to fully C6 a character. In Genshin, you get extra copies of a character, and what you get? More damage numbers, extra scaling. That's boring! I'm gonna channel my inner Asian parent here for a second and compare you to your siblings. In Honkai Star Rail, you get a beautiful illustration of your character at the most pure and vulnerable state. In Zenless Zone Zero, you get a Playboy magazine pin-up of your character. Bit of pandering there, but I'm not complaining. Now in Genshin Impact, what do you get? A connect the dots picture of a cup? Come off it now. I mean, just look at the sales figures. We know what the people really want. So, here's what I propose. Whenever you unlock a character's 6th constellation, you also unlock that character's swimsuit skin. Hoyoverse, I guarantee you implement this change and you'll see banner sales skyrocket like never before. A good chunk of those sales will most likely be me on the Yaimiko and Yelan banners, but that's besides the point. C6, swimsuit skins, sweet, sweet profit. It's not rocket science. Now let's get into some more urgent issues Genshin is facing. What's the most daunting thing stopping newcomers from jumping into the wonderful world of Teyvat? That's right, too much story to catch up on. We've had quite literally 6 whole nations worth of exposition and needless errands between release and now. And so anyone wanting to get into the game is going to get slapped in the face with upwards of 300 hours of story, only about 2 of which are actually about finding the Traveller's sibling. And don't even get me started on the Aranara quest. Now, here's where my solution comes in. Whenever a quest is older than a year, there should be an option to skip the entire quest, at which point a cutscene can play summarising all the main points relevant to the storyline. I mean, let's be honest, if we cut out all the fat, I'm confident every Archon quest can be condensed into a short movie 5 minutes or less. Oh, speaking of the bloated story, there's one detail I forgot to mention. One particularly annoying, squeaky-voiced, short, fat-bodied hell gremlin of a detail. I'm talking about Pyon. I don't know a single Genshin player who wouldn't gladly tie her up, light her on fire, and throw her to the Rift Wolves the first chance they get. And I get it, nobody likes an exposition machine that sounds like she just snorted 10 pounds of helium, but this is the game's mascot for God's sake. We need to do better. We can't just get rid of her, because then we'd be out of a mascot. Which is why I think the solution is, we should just make Paimon a MILF. I guarantee nobody is going to be complaining once you put a huge set of personalities and a bakery onto her. Oh, I'm sorry, Traveller. I think we should explore this area later. In the meantime, why don't you explore me instead? So, Hoyoverse got into a bit of hot water recently when they released the characters for Natlan. Apparently, the lovely people on Twitter were unhappy with the skin tones of the new characters. Countless hashtags were hoisted, and people rallied by the thousands to boycott the game. A boycott which lasted a total of 2 business days and a smoke break. Again, this is Twitter we're talking about. Their calls to action are the equivalent of an ant trying to use a megaphone. But you know, we do well to avoid the situation in the future. Who needs all that hassle? That's why I propose, going forward, all characters should be released with exclusively green skin. That way, the players can green screen their own choice of whatever skin colour they want onto the characters. Everybody wins. Although, you will end up with everyone walking around looking like Shrek, which, if you ask me, isn't really anything to be complaining about. I feel like another thing holding Genshin Impact back is its lack of big title collabs. Not to beat a dead horse and pull out the comparisons again, but Star Rail's managed to get a collab with the bloody Fate series, and all Genshin could manage was the refundable redhead over here? Where's all the budget gone? Now, I've got a few suggestions here that could really get people soiling their trousers in excitement. First up, Yoha 2B, because believe it or not, she's actually useful for things besides filling up your incognito tab. I mean, you guys have already stolen the whole floating weapons gimmick from Nier, might as well go all the way and add her to the roster. An Electro Sword DPS character would fit her playstyle perfectly. And 9as can come too, I guess. Next up, Joker from Persona 5. Hey, if you're going to Smash, I feel like Genshin isn't too big of a stretch. Honestly, with all the collabs Persona has done, it's a wonder nobody ever thought of this. Besides, this'll be another great excuse for Atlus to delay making a Persona 6. Here's a big one, Shiori Novella from virtual YouTuber idol group Hololive English. Come on, it's about time we get more goth representation in Genshin. You could even get Shiori herself to make up and record her own voice lines. Her unhinged degeneracy might just be what Genshin needs to stay relevant.
Let's just say, whatever comes out of you will make a fine specimen. And she starts talking about, like, anal out of nowhere.
If you think all of this is just a desperate and elaborate ploy to have my Oshi as a playable character in Genshin Impact, then you'd be 100% correct, and I have zero shame in admitting that. Hashtag Shiorin Impact. Next character, Signora from Genshin Impact. This one's not a collab, I just want them to bring her back. For the last two characters, I'm thinking Trevor from GTA 5 and Steve from Minecraft. Hey, from a business perspective, it's obvious you'd want to do collaboration with two of the best-selling games of all time. Okay, so you take a look at Genshin's player base, and the majority is male. So it's not really surprising that most of the characters in the game are females. Although, it is curious that the only child model they have is a female one. Really makes you think. Anyways, what I'm saying is, this ratio has got to change. We need more male characters. Specifically, big, muscular men. You're telling me Star Rail has beefcakes like Dr. Ratio and Gallagher, Zone Zero has a freaking 6.5 foot tall bear, and all Genshin can come up with is this guy that looks like he only hits abs at the gym. The literal god of earth and stone looks like he can barely throw a stone without his arms snapping in two. So, Hoyoverse, I'm speaking for the 45% of the demographic when I say we need more men. Big, muscular, oiled up men with big strong arms and thick dump trucks and what was I saying again? Let's face it, exploration in Genshin has always been a hassle. Yes, the scenery is beautiful, and I'm sure the developers have put a lot of time and care into the design of these environments, but I'd wager every player probably explores the open world once, and only once, and that's to unlock the teleport waypoint. After that, we just can't be bothered to run around this massive world, sprinting 10 seconds at a time and running out of stamina every time I want to climb a hill or scale a fence. That's why I think it's high time we start adding cars to Genshin Impact. You've already done a collab with Cadillac, why not go all the way and add the car itself into the game? That's right, get ready for Too Fast 2 Genshin, baby! We'll be drifting and swerving all over Teva in no time. So, that's it, Hoyoverse. Just follow these simple steps and I guarantee you'll see an exponential increase in player engagement. Warning, following the specified steps incorrectly could lead to unwanted consequences, including but not limited to significant profit loss, hair loss, decrease in stock prices, decrease in the ability to touch grass, nausea, headache, and other embarrassing medical diseases too repulsive to speak of. I don't know the difference between a chromosome and a chromatin, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask. I mean, I for one am eager for Hoyoverse to finally start listening to the people and make changes for the betterment of their game. Hey, looks like you've made it to the end of another video. This one was a bit of a shorter video because I'm actually quite busy at the moment, but as always I'm super thankful, super grateful to you guys for always watching the videos, always liking, always commenting. I read every comment, and we recently hit 2,000 subscribers, which is insane. Thank you guys so much for that, and yeah, I'm hoping to see you guys in the next video. whenever that will come out. See you.